Hello everybody, and welcome. Welcome to another edition of Hatha Flow with your host Michael Binney. So you'll need 2 yoga blocks as well as a yoga strap. A belt will do the trick as well. If you don't have blocks, then definitely get some. You'll be okay without them, but they're good to have around. So we'll start practice coming into a table position right away. And you want to have your blocks nearby. I like to have one off to one side and one off to the other. So you can come onto your hands, spread your fingers wide, and as you push through your hands, take a breath out. And as you inhale, let your effort relax a bit so shoulder blades come closer together. As you exhale, press through the hands. And as you inhale, let the heart drop a little, shoulder blades come closer. And repeat that 3 more times with your breath. And once more, exhale. Spread the shoulder blades wide. And then start to move back towards your feet. Inhale, come forward now. Keep the shoulder blades wide. And see how far forward you can go comfortably. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, move back in space. And repeat that a few more times. Moving slowly with your breath. And once more. And then sit back towards your heels as far as you can comfortably. Feel free to bring the hands even further forward. So this allows the shoulder to go into more and more of its full range. And then with your next exhale, slowly bow your forehead towards the ground, engaging your core, and breathe. If you prefer to rest on your forearms, that's fine as well. Try to keep the elbows in, close to the head. Inhale to lift your head. Walk your hands back towards your feet now, coming into a toe squat. Sit all the way back onto the heels if you can. If you can't, that's okay. You could keep your hips up instead. And then make some circles with the wrists, going in one direction and then the other. And then you can lift your hips. Meet me in this kneeling camel stance. Point the feet, pressing the top of the feet into the floor, but the legs about parallel. And we'll explore rolling the shoulders up and back. Big circular movements. As we roll the shoulders back and draw the shoulder blades closer, there's a tendency to arch the back quite a bit. And that's not a good or bad thing, it's just what tends to happen. So you can neutralize how much you bend from the low back by pressing your hips forward. And so we can use our glutes, our hamstrings, and even use our core a little bit to help do that. And then keep on moving the shoulders around, lifting the shoulder blades, drawing them closer, lowering them. Big circular movements in the shoulders. Good. And then we'll take the hands to the floor and explore that same movement in table position. So again, we're going to tension the core, pressing the hips towards the ground this time. And then big circles in the shoulders. Shoulder blades closer, and then spreading wide. That's feeling pretty comfortable now, pretty easy. Try to keep your arms almost totally straight. And then try reversing the movement. And then we'll meet back in camel position. So sitting upright again, kneeling. Roll your shoulders up and back, and then bring your hands towards the sacrum, the area at the back of the pant line. And with an inhale breath, lift the right arm straight up to the sky. And as you exhale, circle the arm behind the back and bow forwards. Inhale, lift the heart, keep the head neutral, and lift the arm. And rest in the center on your exhale. And then switch sides. Inhale, left arm straight up. Exhale, circle out to the side and to the sacrum, bowing forwards. Inhale to come up, lift the left arm again. And exhale, hang out in the center. Inhale, right arm reaches up, head neutral initially. And then exhale, circle the hand behind the back, retracting the shoulder blade. Squeeze it into the middle. Inhale, right arm up, spread the shoulder blade. And exhale, rest in the center. Inhale, left arm up, shoulder blade spreads, protracts. And then exhale, retract as the arm goes behind the back. Squeeze the shoulder blade in. And inhale, come up, spreading the shoulder blade to reach the arm up. Exhale, coming back to the center. And continue at your own pace. There is the option to also spiral the arm out to the side and then up. Just a little bit more complex, but same principles. As we bow, focus on the retraction. And as we rise up, we can use that same sort of spiral, spreading the shoulder blade to reach up. So go at your own rhythm. I encourage you to close your eyes, focus the attention in. And then we'll all meet back in the center. Take the hands forward to table position. So your knees are going to be a little bit behind the pelvis for our purposes. Feel free to wiggle the knees back, shoulders over the wrists, and then push into your hands, spreading your shoulder blades. As you exhale, bend your elbows, then inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, sit towards the heels, and repeat about 5 times. Inhale forward. Exhale, bend the arms. Option to touch the pelvis or hover it, your choice. Inhale, push up. And exhale, sit back. 3 more to go. Feel free to experiment. There's no right or wrong here. In the push-up movement, it's helpful to think about the pelvis lowering. Don't worry about the heart going down. You can even keep the heart up as an option. And you're just going as far as you're comfortable. Doesn't have to be much. Okay, last one. And we'll sit back towards the heels again, but try to pause with your pelvis just over the knees, maybe a little further back. Hands can go forward. This is puppy dog again. So this time let's keep the arms straight, plant your palms, extra strong through the little finger knuckles, emphasize external rotation of the shoulder. And then as you tuck your chin a little bit, back of the neck is long. You can engage your abs and just hang out. If you'd like an extra challenge, keep the elbows straight and go onto the tips of your fingers, lifting the palms and the forearms away from the floor, but keep the arms straight as you do that. And we'll hang out for a few more breaths. 3 more. Core is strong. And strong in the core, walk the hands in a little. Come back to table. If you have your yoga blocks nearby, you can just move them back for now. We'll be circling the arms, but first we'll lay down onto the belly. So you can do one more low push-up, coming all the way down, nice and slow. Pelvis to the floor and the belly. And then give yourself a lot of space. So I have this plant in front of me, so I'm going to move back a little bit more on my mat. It's worth it. Blocks out of the way. And then laying on your back, we'll start by coming into Sphinx pose, just to get the body used to back bending a little bit more. So you could take your feet hip width or wider and just hang out here, breathing deep into the belly. If you're feeling any strain in your lower back, then try taking your elbows further forward away from the belly, letting the heart drop a little more. The more you lift the heart, the more it's a back bend. So progression would be planting the hands and trying to pull back a little bit with the hands. Next phase would be lifting the elbows out to the sides, turning the shoulders inwards a bit, pulling the hands towards the hips. A few more slow breaths. And exhale, slowly come down. And we'll take the hands to the sacrum. So it's just like what we did in camel pose, but on the belly in locust pose. And feel free to watch me for this first one. So I'm going to do it with my forehead on the ground, legs together. Inhale, left arm out to the side, swooping forward. Opposite leg comes up. Exhale, back to center, lower the leg. And then other side. Inhale, right arm. Opposite leg comes up. You can also add lifting the head and the chest. And then exhale, come back. Inhale, left arm, opposite leg. Exhale, lower. Go nice and easy with the lift of the head and chest. Inhale, right arm, opposite leg. Exhale, lower. And continue. So watch your breath. Main thing is breathing here. If it feels comfortable, do incorporate the lift of the chest. And at the end of the movement, try lifting the chin as well. And let's all meet in the center. And we'll take left arm, opposite leg up, and hang out in the posture. Keep breathing. At the same time, lift your right shoulder away from the floor, retracting right shoulder blade a little. Exhale, center. Other side, inhale. Right arm, opposite leg. And breathe. And exhale back to the center. Very good. Place your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes. Pressing into the base of the toes, push up to your knees. And then sit back into puppy stretch. I'm going to emphasize sitting back further towards the heels this time. Feel free to join me. And then walk the hands forward. So we're emphasizing a bit more spinal flexion, which is rounding the spine. Just to relax some of those muscles that were working in the back bending posture on the belly. So breathe deep. If it's too much to sit back on the heels, keep your hips up more, arms forward a bit, and breathe. Just imagine your tailbone scooping under, helping to lengthen and relax the lower back. And breathe into any tightness you might be feeling. And inhale, lift your head. Bring your hands under your shoulders again. Exhale, push back into ragdoll, lift your hips. Bring your hands closer to your feet, and with the heels firmly rooting into the ground, hold on to opposite elbows. Let your head and neck relax, let your legs do the work. See if you can let the belly soften, the head and neck totally release down. And breathe. And if you like to straighten one leg or both legs a little bit, go for it. Feel your way through the movement, making any little changes or adjustments slowly. And then bend your knees, let the arms hang loose. Very slowly roll up through your spine, vertebra by vertebra. When you get to standing, you can roll your shoulders up and back, big circles. And then bring the feet directly underneath your sitting bones, so the feet are about hip width apart. If you have trouble with your balance, you're welcome to take your left hand to a wall. Otherwise, you can keep your hand on your hip. And we'll pick up that right knee and make some circles with the right hip joint. So we're lifting upwards, press outwards from the knee joint to activate the buttock, and then move into the midline. Big circles. It may help to bend your standing leg a little bit, and then press off the heel and straighten the leg a little bit. See if you can feel the buttock contracting. And then we'll switch legs. So you're welcome to take your right hand to the wall, pick up your left leg, and make some big circles, again pressing the thigh bone towards the belly, out to the side, and into the midline, into the center. And experiment with bending and straightening your standing leg a few times. Consciously activate the buttocks. back to standing. So you may want to place your yoga blocks at the front of the mat if you have them nearby, on their highest heights, one by each corner. And then we'll stand in mountain pose with the feet just beside the blocks. Bend your knees, step the left leg back, and position it in such a way that your foot can be totally flat, but see how much you can turn it towards that front left corner. So it might be like a few degrees. Maybe your heel starts to come up, so you turn your foot out more. You can play around with it. Now on your next inhale, lift the arms straight up to the sky. As you exhale, bend your elbows to a W and bend your front knee. Inhale, straighten the arms and the leg. And exhale, repeat that a few more times. Inhale, protract the scapula, spread the shoulder blades. Exhale, retract, squeezing shoulder blades. And continue. If you have any difficulty with reaching the arms overhead, you may be not protracting enough. So in that case, take the shoulder forward and then reach out. Once you can train that protraction of the scapula, you might find that over time you can go into a greater range of motion. So a few more. Keep playing around. Feel your way through these movements. It doesn't have to look like me. Find what feels right. Good. Next exhale, bend your elbows, bend your front knee, and then take your hands down to the yoga blocks. Inhale, lift your heart to a straight spine. See how much you can straighten your front leg. Exhale, pause here, pressing the right hip back, and breathe. So we're looking to find some length in the hamstring, a little bit of stretch. It does help to think of lifting the heart, engaging the quadricep. If you're quite loose, you might keep the quadriceps strong and start to bow forward a little bit more, rounding the back a little. So feel your way through this movement. And we'll meet. Inhale to lift the heart halfway. Exhale, bend your right knee over the ankle. Plant your left hand on the block. And with an inhale, reach the right arm out to the side, keeping the right knee bent. And then exhale, thread the needle, reaching underneath your left arm. Inhale, right arm reaches up, open your chest. Exhale, thread through. About 3 more to go, moving with your breath. And then reach the arm up, and we'll pause there for a few breaths, holding this posture, turning the right chest open. At the same time, try to squeeze your legs towards each other so that your right hip can move back in space. And next exhale, lower your right hand. Inhale, lift the heart halfway. Exhale, pause, engage your core and your glutes. Inhale, come all the way up, lift your arms. Exhale, mountain pose. And we'll take a few moments to stand in mountain. Feel free to close your eyes. And come back to your slow breath through the nose. Opening the eyes, bend your knees, transfer into the left foot, and step your right foot back. Angle the foot so it's flat. And with your next inhalation, lift the arms up. Exhale, cactus arms, bend your front knee. Inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Exhale, cactus, squeezing shoulder blades, bending the knee again. And continue moving on the breath. And just bend that front knee to your own comfortable degree, keeping the back foot flat. The bigger the bend of the knee, the more strength demands we're placing on the muscles around the knee joint. So just be aware of that. If it feels like too much, back off a little bit. But if you want more of a challenge, explore. It's okay for your knee to go past the ankle. That's the same thing we do when we're walking up the stairs. A few more. You also think of engaging the core, engaging the muscles in the back of the legs to prevent extension in the spine. A little bit of extension is fine. You just want to feel your way through it. Regulate it so it doesn't feel like too much. And then hinge forward. Take the hands to yoga blocks. Inhale, lift the heart halfway. See how much you can straighten your left leg, engaging the quads. Exhale, you might fold there, or you might keep the heart lifted. It's up to you. And we'll hang out in the posture. A few more slow, deep breaths. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, bend your right knee over the ankle, or bend your left knee over the ankle rather, and we'll plant the right hand down. On your inhale, lift the left arm up to the sky, opening the chest. And as you exhale, reach underneath your right arm, just like thread the needle. Inhale, left arm up, both arms straight. And exhale, threading through. If you find yourself stuck, put the block on its higher height. Again, inhale. If that's not enough, use a kitchen chair. Exhale, threading. A few more to go. And next inhale, we'll lift the left arm, stack the shoulders, and pause, holding the posture. Keep breathing deep through the nose. At the same time, as you bend your front knee, think about pressing the heel to the back of the mat so the left hip moves back. This encourages the glute muscles to activate in that left leg. And next exhale, lower your left hand down. Inhale, lift the heart halfway. Exhale, pause, engaging the core and the buttocks. Inhale, spread the arms and come up all the way to warrior one. And exhale, stepping forwards. And we'll take a few moments to feel the residue. Standing tall in mountain, eyes open or closed. Relax your face. And so you can keep one block by your right foot. Take the other block with you. And we'll open up to the side. So I'm going to turn my left foot out and place a yoga block just outside of that left foot. Bend the knee, so it's just over the ankle, coming into side angle. So I have the yoga block just outside of my heel. And that way you can focus on pressing your leg out into your arm, moving from the hip joint, engaging the buttocks. And then reach the right arm forward by the ear and back by the hip, making big circles. Just like when we were in Warrior One, a common instruction is to stack the knee over the ankle. But if that feels like too much, you can back off a little bit. If you like more of a challenge, it's okay to go past the ankle, but focus on the back foot staying flat. You can also increase the distance between the feet for more of a challenge. And the next time the arm goes by the ear, pause there and breathe. Engage your core. Draw the front ribs in. So you can use your core to help turn the right chest open, as well as draw the front ribs in. And on your next inhale, come up. Exhale, parallel feet. And take a breath, spreading the arms open, strong in the core. Exhale, turn your right foot out and bend the right knee, taking the hand outside the foot again to the yoga block. And then circle the top arm nice and slow, forward by the ear, back by the hip. Again, feel free to increase the distance between the feet. We usually lose a few inches when we go from one leg to the other. Notice any differences right to left. I'm sure there's lots. Just the way things are. And then next time the left arm goes by the ear, we'll pause there. Open your left chest to the sky. Use your core and draw the front ribs in. Breathing deep. 3 more breaths. And then engaging the core, inhale to come up. Exhale, parallel feet. Turn the toes in a little bit. And then take the hands to the waist. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and back, lifting through your heart. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge forward with a straight spine. And then take hold of the backs of the calves. Inhale, lift your heart to a straight spine. And pause there, 5 breaths. As you keep the heart lifted, engage your quadriceps, even with the knees bent. Feel the weight through your feet, and then see very slowly how much you can comfortably straighten your legs. Keep breathing. And exhale, bend your knees. Take your yoga blocks a little bit forward in front of you, about shoulder width apart. So we're going to use our blocks as tools. Inhale, push into your hands, lifting the heart halfway. Feel free to widen the stance a little bit between the feet now. And then exhale, explore hinging forward. Knees can be bent a little. If you're a bit looser, you might have your legs straight. Just go to your own comfortable degree. If in doubt, keep the heart lifted. There's nothing wrong with staying away from the floor. It's actually a great way to practice. It's going to give you a bit more integrity in the spine if you're working to find neutral spine. And breathe. A few more breaths there. And then press to handstand on your inhale. Just kidding, just kidding. Exhale, pause. Lift your heart halfway on the inhale. And then bring your heels closer to each other. So the feet will be angled out. Heels closer to the midline. And then explore bending into your left leg, knee over ankle. Try to straighten the right leg, lifting the ball of the foot away from the floor. Okay, and then we'll go to the other side. Bend the right leg and straighten the left, lifting the ball of the left foot off the floor. And then keep slowly exploring. Take a few breaths. Really feel your way through it. So notice that the more we bend the knee, the more it's actually challenging the flexibility of the ankle, as well as the calf. So there's so much going on. So some people find that they can go down lower if they increase the distance between the feet. Whereas some people will find that actually makes it harder to go down. Depends on various structures in the body. So you can play around. And so next time we bend the left leg, we'll hang out with it. You can bend that knee, straighten your right leg, lifting the ball of the foot away from the floor. And then see what I do with my straight leg. I'm going to turn the thigh outwards and sit a little bit lower if possible. And breathe. You can push into your hands as much as you like. That's going to help take a bit of weight off the leg and allow you to find more stillness in the pose. Add one more breath. And then slowly come back to center. Take your blocks with you. Pivot out over the right heel, turning out from the right hip. So the foot, knee, and hip are working together. And then explore bending that knee as much as you're comfortable. Straightening the left leg as much as you're comfortable. And breathe. Think of turning the left knee towards the sky, which means that the left hip joint has externally rotated. Or we've sat a little bit lower into the right leg. And then slowly come back to center. Bring the blocks to the center. Walk the feet in a little closer. And take an inhale to lift your heart halfway. Exhale, bend your knees. Take your blocks with you. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, step to the front of the mat in mountain pose. And bend the knees, keep your back straight, lower the blocks down. And with an inhale, lift the heart halfway. Exhale, fold, head to knees. Inhale, lift the arms overhead for chair pose, and breathe. So head neutral, think of drawing the ears back over the shoulders, and lift the heart up a little bit. Palms facing each other. If this feels like too much, take the arms more forward towards eye level where it's easier to see them. And then hands down to the blocks, exhale. Inhale, lift the heart halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, take hold of your yoga strap. And with an inhale, we'll come up to standing again. So I'm going to take the strap behind my back. So you can just bring your hands behind your back as an option. Hold the strap a little bit loose so that you can loop your shoulders up and back. And with the feet about hip width apart, take a breath in to loop the shoulders, squeeze between shoulder blades. And then exhale, hinge at the hip, bending the knees as much as necessary. Keep the squeeze of the shoulder blades as you pull through the arms. And breathe. Bending the knees can be really helpful here for getting the heart closer to the legs so that gravity can help open up our shoulders. As you squeeze the shoulder blades, also try tearing the strap apart with the hands. And that has the effect of engaging the shoulder abductor muscles as we work to squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit. So this is a co-activation of opposing actions. Very good for shoulder stability. And if you're feeling really loose, go ahead and straighten your legs. But be sure to keep muscle tone in your legs by balancing the rooting of the heels with leaning into the balls of the feet. And next exhale, slowly let go, bend your knees, and just set that strap off to the side somewhere. Bring the hands to the yoga blocks and take an inhale to look up. And then exhale, step your left foot back to a low lunge. You can bring that knee to the floor. I'm going to walk my blocks further back. There's the option to fold the edge of the mat over for extra padding under your knee if you need it. You can also explore wiggling the right foot a little bit further forward if that's available to you. And then as you inhale, explore bending your right knee. And as you exhale, lean back and try to straighten the right leg. Inhale to bend the knee. And exhale, lean back, try to straighten the leg. And then continue exploring, moving on your breath. It's good practice to straighten the leg and keep the back straight. This is a good way of ensuring that you're getting movement in the pelvis. And once you've done that a few times, feel free to round your back. So think about straightening the leg and then rounding the spine after that. If you have any condition where you've been advised not to flex the spine, then you keep your spine neutral more or less the whole time, even if that means bending your knee. But you may still find that a little bit of flexion feels quite good. We tend to do it whenever we put our shoes and socks on anyway. And we'll move into the bent knee position. So bend your right knee and then take a breath in. As you exhale, tuck your chin and look towards your belly button. Think about engaging the core. If you like an extra challenge, point your left foot, press it into your mat. So it's actually quite hard. We're going to push into the blocks pretty strongly. Engage the core, rounding forward a little bit, and then maybe you lift your left knee off the ground. Whoa, that was pretty tough. I'm going to put it back down. If you're feeling strong there, you go for it. You can hold it a few more breaths. And think about dragging your left hip forward while pressing your right hip back in space. Scissoring the legs is a nice image. Just like closing a pair of scissors. Good, and then we'll lower that left knee for those of you who lifted it. Take a breath in to lift your heart. And then straightening the right leg as much as you're comfortable. 5 breaths. Option to exhale, bowing over the leg, or keep the heart lifted, your choice again. Inhale to bend your knee. Strong the core. So we'll do a second variation of the lunge. You take your right forearm to your thigh and then draw your ribs in using your core. Kind of similar to the action we did in the last pose. Strong in the buttocks. And then with an inhale, bring your left arm up by the ear. And you can hang out in this position, drawing the front ribs in. We're looking to find some length in the front of that left hip. So you might have to bend your front knee more. Maybe it's reversing the bend. You can play around with it and see what feels comfortable for your low back and what lengthens the front of that hip. And then second option, once you find your sweet spot, you can bend the elbow and use your free hand to push back on that left elbow, right on the upper arm bone. Again, scissoring the legs, pressing left hip forward while pulling the right heel back. About 5 more breaths. And it's kind of funny, when teaching I don't really go for it that much because I'm talking, so I'm trying not to go into it, and once in a while I'll just really go for it. These poses feel amazing. I think I would actually enjoy taking this class as a student. Hope you do too. And then release the pose. Very good. So we'll take the hands forward now. You can walk your right foot back. And then we'll press back to a downward facing dog. If you prefer to do ragdoll, you're welcome to. Walking the hands in, rooting the heels. Otherwise, you can bear weight through the hands and explore making little movements. This applies to both poses. Moving the hips side to side. Pedaling the legs out. And then we'll step the left foot forward to a lunge. You're welcome to fold the right edge of the mat over for extra padding. And we'll take the hands to the yoga blocks on their highest heights, walking that left foot forward a little bit if there's more space to explore. Bend your knee over the angle or beyond it. And on your next exhale, lean back, straightening the left leg. Inhale, bend the knee, lift the heart. Exhale, spine neutral. See how much you can comfortably straighten your left leg. And continue. Feel free to make your arms longer by using fingertips. Worked one-on-one with people who were still a little bit tight for the yoga blocks, and so in that case we would actually grab chairs from the dining room or the kitchen or whatever. That way you can press your hands against something larger, which can be a bit more forgiving and allow for more exploration of movement. So feel free to get creative around the house. One of the advantages of practicing at home instead of being at a studio is they look at you kind of funny when you show up with your dining room furniture. So a few more vinyasas. And then we'll meet back in the lunging position, knee just over the ankle. Point the right foot, pressing the top of that foot down. And as you exhale, use your core, look to your belly button. Think of the tailbone dropping in the back and the pubic bone lifting in the front. And press all the toenails of the right foot into the floor. If you like an extra challenge, you might lift that knee. And breathe, pressing the right hip forward, pulling the left heel back. That's too much, lower the knee. 2 more breaths. And then relax. With the knee down, take a breath in. Lean back and find your neutral spine. Straighten the left leg as much as you can. And then exhale, 5 breath in the half split, either keeping the heart up or folding over the leg, your choice. Think of engaging the quadriceps to help straighten the left leg. And as a secondary action, think of engaging the glutes. Then the tail drops just a little bit as the heart stays lifted. This can help us move the stretch away from the actual sitting bone and more into the belly of the muscles. Into the stringy part of the ham. And on your next inhale, lift the heart, bend the front knee. Exhale, take your left forearm up to your thigh. Inhale, right arm up. And you can play around the position, bending your front knee more or less. So notice how as I bend my front knee, I'm naturally going to get a little bit more of a back bend in my low back. So that can be uncomfortable for some people. So back off if necessary. Find what feels relatively good. A little bit of discomfort is pretty normal, but we don't want to go too far into that. And find your sweet spot, engaging the glutes to press the right hip forward, and feel free to take your left hand to your elbow or keep it on your thigh, up to you. And breathe. We'll take 5 more breaths. And then releasing the pose, take the hands down and step back. Downward dog, ragdoll, or table, you choose. And then lower to the floor. Bring your feet towards the front of the mat and bend the knees. So feet are about hip width apart or so, just in front of you. And then bring the hands about 6 to 12 inches behind you, depending on how long your arms are. Roll the shoulders up and back a few times. We'll take a few breaths just to play around with trying to open the chest. Mobilize the shoulder blades against the back of the rib cage. And then lifting the heart up, plant down through your palms. As you exhale, press into your feet, especially the heels, and lift the hips up. As you inhale, very slowly come down. And repeat that a few times. Exhale, hips up, core strong, buttocks strong. Inhale, come down. Again, exhale, try to keep your legs parallel as they come up. Inhale down. So that's an interesting puzzle, engaging the buttocks but keeping the legs parallel. 2 more to go. Very good. Last one. And relax down. And then lean forward. Bring your hands to the tops of the thighs, keeping the feet wide. As you exhale, scoop the tailbone under, rounding your back. Tuck your chin and engage your core. And then inhale to rise up. Sliding the hands up to the knees. Exhale, keep the front ribs drawing in as you lay down. So we're going down vertebra by vertebra. Inhale, coming up. 3 more to go. So notice I'm only bringing my low back to the floor. Doesn't have to be a big movement at all. Shoulder blades are spreading wide apart, arms are reaching forwards. Very good, and come all the way down nice and slow. And bring the heels a little bit closer to your sitting bones. Loop your shoulders into the floor and try to find the natural lumbar curve underneath your back. So the lumbar is your low back just above the sacrum. The sacrum itself is on the floor. And then arms by your sides. Take an inhale to lift the arms over the head towards the back of the mat. Arms straight. Take an exhale to press the low back to the floor, scoop the tailbone up, and then lift the whole body, vertebra by vertebra. Inhale, slowly bring the arms down. Vertebra by vertebra, exhale down slow. So we're using our core, using our hamstrings and our glutes. And repeat. Inhale to reach back. You can honor the lumbar curve. On your exhale, press the lumbar to the floor, engage your core, scoop the hips up. Inhale, lower the arms. Exhale, lower down vertebra by vertebra. Again, inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, strong core, lift the hips, lift the low back, lift the spine. Inhale, lower the arms. Exhale, vertebra by vertebra. Extra slow through the lumbar since it's naturally quite curvy. Let's do one more. Inhale to lift arms. Exhale to lift hips. Inhale, lower the arms. And then exhale, lowering through the vertebra. Very good. And now we'll go into supported bridge, so you can take a yoga block underneath your sacrum. And since our lower back loves to curve, we're going to intentionally root the heels down and scoop the tailbone towards the heels. Just for a brief moment, bring your sacrum down with this tailbone scooped under. And then you may find it's actually quite comfortable to be here for a little while. Loop your shoulders back into the floor, opening the chest up. So really proud, broad chest. And then bring your hands next to your belly, sides of the ribs, whatever they naturally touch, whatever feels right. As you engage your core, try to hover your left foot off the floor and then your right foot. And then just hang out here. So the feet are hovering off the ground. It's quite nice. You might find that you can now relax the belly quite a bit. Take some deep breath and see if you can feel that breath with your hands radiating outwards. And you're welcome to explore bringing the knees a little wider apart. And then see how much you can comfortably bring the feet towards the sky So it's kind of like happy baby with a block under the sacrum. It could be more of a straight leg position if that feels comfortable, depending on the tightness in the hamstrings. And breathe. With an exhale, connect with the core and bring your legs together in the center. And see how high you can bring your legs up towards the sky while continuing to press the sacrum down. Gazing up to the feet. And I'll give you one more challenge for the core of the body. So press your legs together. As you exhale, engage your core and lower your right leg. Try to touch the heel to the ground. I'm not going to make it all the way. I'm just going to move in that direction. And then inhale to come up, legs together. Exhale, left leg slowly coming down, hovering near the ground. Maybe tap the heel, engaging your buttock. Inhale to come up. And then a few more each side. As one leg lowers, try to keep the top leg totally still. So we're working the legs in opposition, flexing the hip of the top leg, engaging the glute of the lower leg. All the while, try to spread your toes wide. Use your abs to help support the low back against the weight of the leg. And next time you lower, hold the position. Take 3 breaths, strong core. They will not be deep breath. They will be efficient breath since your abs are working. Maybe a little shaking. Slowly bring it up. And then switch. It's our last 3. And then slowly bring it up. Bend your knees. Relax the body. Take your right hand to your right knee. So maybe you can hold the knee with your hand, pull it back, and see how much you can straighten the left leg onto your mat. For some of us, this might actually create a really nice stretch through the front of the left hip, getting into releasing the psoas. Quite nice. So try to straighten the left leg, root the heel into the earth. You can also shorten the right side of the spine a little bit as you pull back on the right leg. If there's someone in the room with you, you might even ask them to press down on your left thigh and be very considerate and gentle as they press your right knee towards your shoulder. It's important to talk back and forth, and then you can take turns on each other as well. So very gentle adjusting. It's quite nice. And then very slowly we'll switch. Draw your left knee in towards the shoulder. Try to hold it with your left hand. Give it a little squeeze as much as you can. And then try straightening the other leg. Shorten the left side of the spine a little. And try to straighten that right leg. And breathe. So you may be feeling a really nice release up the front of that right hip. Engaging the core, slowly bend both knees, come back to center. Bring your feet to the floor in supported bridge. And then you're welcome to explore straightening your legs out to the corners of the mat, so both legs straight. Feet as wide as the mat will allow, allowing the feet and hips to turn out a little. And breathe. Some people find this stretches the front of the hips more. It does help to draw your front ribs in with core awareness. And then turn the legs slightly inwards and bring your heels towards your sitting bones, setting up like a bridge pose again. With the legs parallel, press through the feet. Exhale to engage the core, lifting the hips, and then maintain that lift for the next 3 breaths. Keep lifting the hips, remove the yoga block, and then try to wiggle the arm bones a little closer. A few more breaths. Lift the hips as high as you can. One more breath, tail scooping towards the knees. And exhale, slowly coming down. Very good. Take a moment to feel the residue laying on your back. Lay still for a few moments. And then windshield wiper the legs to the left side. Feet as wide as the mat. Inhale across center. And exhale, windshield wiper to the right side. And continue moving with your breath. Bring both knees towards the left side, keeping the feet as wide as the mat. And then try placing the left ankle on the outside of the right thigh. Use that ankle to gently press down on the outer thigh. And breathe. And come back to center, take the feet wide. Exhale, knees to the right side. You're welcome to use your right ankle again, hooking on the outer left thigh. Press down. And then come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Wrap the arms around the legs. Give yourself a big squeeze. You can let your sacrum curl up. Allow the spine to round as much as you're comfortable. And then strongly hug the legs into your belly. If it feels comfortable, you can also bow your head towards your knees on a long exhale. Tucking the chin, strengthen the front of the neck. And take a few breaths. relax the head down. Let go of the body. Make any last movements. And then when you're ready, go into resting pose Shavasana, taking the feet towards the corners of the mat, arms at sides. And completely relax your body. Soften the shoulders down the back and let go. Notice the natural rhythm of the breath. Breathe in whatever way you feel called to breathe. Then give attention to the muscles in the face, starting with relaxing the forehead. Relax the jaw. Relax the tongue. Relax the throat. Relax any control over the breath. Relax the belly. Start to slowly come back to the breathing now. And take a long inhalation to stretch the arms back over the head. And a long exhale to hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then rolling over to one side, help yourself up to a comfortable seat. Thank you very much for practicing today, everybody. Went a little overtime today, so this was a 75-minute class. Look at that. Hope you didn't have any big plans this afternoon. Thanks so much, everyone. See you soon.